If you want to get out from, like, if you want to break through, if you want to go from this level to that level, you can't be like, okay, I'm just gonna dip my toes in the water. I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna see it. I'm just gonna play around. I'm just gonna do. That's typical. That's average, man.
What's the journey, man? What's the journey? How can you replicate it? How can you apply some of those principles and ideas?
The number one thing that I can sincerely say that absolutely changed everything, I worked on myself first, period.
Here's the formula. Learn something new, and then do it and implement it.
Against all odds, right? Against, everything, they persevered.
I didn't have to be that smart guy that's going to go out and create all this tech stuff.
I had found all of these other hidden loopholes within the eBay system, like alternative ways to make money on eBay.
And they did it in this industry. They did it in online marketing. All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Vic Strazios here with you, and welcome to The Journey. This is episode number 11, and I'm very excited to host these for you. If you're watching these episodes, if you watched any of our episodes of The Journey, you know how we do it, right? So, we get to dissect success stories. People that are worthy to be invited on the journey, and people that have done something significant enough, to be able to share their story and hopefully inspire entrepreneurs just like yourself, just like myself, the world, right, with what they have done, what they have achieved, with one intention in mind, right? How do we take some of those ideas? Do we take some of those nuggets and, just thoughts, perhaps maybe the mindset, maybe, a technology they use, maybe an idea they have implemented, maybe a tool they have used, or maybe just how they went about building their business that, allowed them to have a breakthrough that they were looking for, right? And how can you model that? How can you replicate that? Well, today, I'm very excited to interview one of the best in the industry when it comes to her field, in what she's doing. And this person, I'll bring her on here in just a moment. She started out from ground zero, just like all of us, man. If you look at your history of, look back as an entrepreneur, right? If you've been doing this for any period of time, if you're just getting started, if you're an affiliate marketer, maybe you're in multi-level marketing deal, maybe you're an information marketer, maybe you are product creator, maybe you're a publisher, maybe you're a speaker, an author. It does not matter who you are. Heck, maybe you're a photographer, maybe you're a videographer, maybe you're somebody who is working on technology, side of things, right? What's really cool about what we do here with The Journey is that it's all about ideas, right? And so this person I'm going to be interviewing here in just a moment started out from ground zero and was able to build her way up all the way to the top to now where, she gets to work with literally, the who's of the industry, top celebrities, top companies. And I want to know one thing. How did she do that? Okay, so everybody give a warm, 4% welcome to the one and only Tanya Willis. Tanya, welcome to The Journey.
Hi, Vic. It's good to be here. Very excited. Hi, everyone.
How are you today, Tanya?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for taking the time to get on the journey. I know you're very busy these days and you're everywhere. Seems like, looking at some of the stuff that you've been doing just from your social media, you get to travel, you have travel, plans coming up here for some, other companies you're doing, work for and etc. So I appreciate the time, Tanya, and I appreciate you getting on here to share your story. I wanted to invite you here for one specific reason, and that is this: the journey. How did you become who you are today? And, and we get to dissect, what some of the things that you have done to, that allowed you to have a breakthrough in your business. I want to know, you get to work with a lot of marketers, a lot of, celebrity personalities, a lot of different companies. Give us a snapshot of where is your business at today? Like, what are you doing today? What's the lifestyle like today for Tanya Willis?
Well, it's my pleasure to be here and my pleasure to share my story with you guys. At this moment, I'm traveling. Probably a couple times a month. With the different companies. I also doing local portfolios. I'm working with different businesses, but only 2 years ago I could only dream about doing so, and right now it's like basically my dream lifestyle when I get to travel, get to meet people, socialize with people, build my engagement and work my way up there.
2 years ago. So that means, are you saying that you got started doing what you're doing right now just 2 years ago?
Yes.
Okay, now that I want to talk about. How did you do that? Because right now you get to like, are you allowed to name? I mean, I know you work with like 7-figure income earners. I know we hired you for our companies, and you get to work with like literally companies that do hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, in revenue, in our industry. And photography is primarily what you do. This is your passion. But it's a giant industry. There's so many photographers out there. There's so many people that are aspiring to do something significant. But here you are in just 2 years, you got yourself out to the top. So Tanya, I want to dig into that story if you don't mind, because that's what I do on the journey. Is I get to uncover, how did you do what you do? Give us, let's do this. So there's going to be several groups of people watching this, right? So there's obviously, we're streaming this live to the 4%. So there's a lot of, live audiences watching us here in the 4% group. And there is also going to be people who will be watching this perhaps as a replay all around the world, right? From different fields, different industries. And I have one thing in mind, simplicity, right? How do we get as many of those ideas that helped you to break through and take your business to the next level that maybe a complete beginner can implement? Maybe somebody who is aspiring entrepreneur, maybe you can inspire that person. Maybe there is a spark that they'll get from watching this interview. And then, we're going to dig into some of the more advanced type stuff. And so we're going to talk about this. So let me take it from the beginning here, Tanya. Give us a backstory. You said you started 2 years ago. Where is Tanya Willis? What's your background? What have you done before? Have you always been an entrepreneur? Have you always done photography before? What was your backstory? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in a small town of Russia, Pondyurzan, and I finished my high school and college on bookkeeping there. So I realized that bookkeeping is something I don't really want to do. I like to travel and I like to meet people. So as I was traveling, there was something missing. I didn't know what exactly I like to do. And I always knew that I will always do something that I'm passionate about.
Right.
When I was in Canada traveling with my family, and we were going different, places in America and Canada. And I remember taking my camera and I'm snapping 2,000-3,000 pictures in just one day. And then people were asking me, maybe this is your passion. And I started really thinking about maybe this is my passion. Maybe this is something I would take to the next level and be really looking at it seriously. So that's what I started to do. And it was, 2 years ago. So
you did not grow up with passion for photography necessarily. You did not know, you discovered this later on as you were just playing it, just by accident, really, sounds like.
Yes.
That's very interesting. So let's talk about this, Tanya. So how does one go from discovering their passion, right? Maybe somebody's watching this, they're like, man, I don't know what my passion is right now yet. I'm here to tell you, my friend, look for it. You'll find it, right? Something that you will resonate with. But here's my question, though. So many people have a passion, but they don't understand or are not able to turn their passion into profits, right? In other words, so if you're passionate about something and you can make a living out of that passion, then you have a perfect combination and your life is awesome. I mean, you love what you do. You wake up in the morning, every day looking forward to the day because you live your passion, right? How does one go from having a passion, discovering their passion, to turning that into reality? Walk us through the steps. Do you remember, now let's turn tables here to start talking about a little business. What were your first steps toward, implementing or taking your passion and turning it into a business channel, if you will?
Well, I wanted to turn my passion into business as I realized I really love taking pictures, so why not turn it into business? And when I first started, I really was focusing on two things: how to find clients locally and how to find clients online, because I really want to be traveler photographer. Traveler photographer, though, I realized it a little bit after. When I first started photography, I was going into food photography, so I would be more going into restaurants. I would volunteer for work, and then I realized food photography is not really for me. because I was looking at my pictures and I was looking at perfection. I wanted to make it perfect for the restaurant, and I didn't really know if this is perfect picture or not. Maybe I should put more crumbs on the plate, or maybe I should make something else to make this picture even better. But when I started talking and engaging with people in like in colleges, in local communities, I started realizing that I really like portrait photography. When I take pictures of people, there is no right and wrong. There is no too dark or too light. There is nothing like that. There is only your creative part comes out. So I realized that I like take portraits, and I want to travel with it. I don't want to be a local photographer. Even though I can do, pictures here locally for model portfolios and do all my work here locally, I wanted to explore and I wanted to meet people. Now, how do I do that? I basically have to think about relationships.
So Tanya, if I may interrupt you here, because I'm trying to absorb and I have an aspiring entrepreneur's hat on right now, right? So I'm fishing for the nuggets, and what you just shared with us is tremendous. So what you're saying is, look, man, I decided not to settle for just taking pictures of the restaurant foods or the food at the restaurant, right? I wanted to be a traveling photographer. I wanted to take photographs from places all across the world, which is another level, which is like, hey, I want to live my passion, and I want to live it on my terms, doing what I'm ultimately set out to do, right? Now, before we start talking about that side of this next level stuff, right? Let me ask you this: how does one go? Because you just went through it really, really quickly. You decided to take pictures, and then all of a sudden you're taking food, pictures of food for restaurants, right? How did you get into that? How does one go? I mean, you just walk into the restaurant and say, hey, let me take some pictures of your food, or how does that work? Tell me that.
Well, I like to accomplish people with ideas.
Right.
So to me, food was not really something that I wanted to do business. So when I come to a different business, instead of say, hi, my name is Tanya, I'm a photographer, I look at the menu and I say, hey, it's a great menu. Wouldn't it be nice if, nice picture of your food would be next to it, and you get more customers. So I like to approach people with ideas. And food just come to my mind. Well, it was not really my plan. It was not really something that I just wanted to try something new, and I did. It actually did very well. Every time I would go to a restaurant and I would say, hey, your menu is great. Picture would be really nice here. They usually work with me.
So you just simple as that. I mean, people. See, here's the thing, and this is brilliant. Like what you're just sharing is so good, because what you guys are watching this, right? Fish for ideas, right? Read between the lines. Like it doesn't matter what you do. What I'm hearing here is just simplicity at its best, and just thinking outside. Heck, not even having a box. Because so many entrepreneurs, they start out and they think, well, in order for me to get this client, or in order for me to run this campaign, it has to be this way because that's what everybody else is doing. Maybe I have to send a proposal or go through some sort of an agency or whatever to get to the restaurant owners, or to get to the restaurant with my idea. Here you are, you're just walking into the restaurant and you're just just saying, hey, here's an idea for you guys, right? Simple as that.
Yes.
Perfect. So what's next? So you go from restaurant to now you wanted to live life on your terms, traveling, doing photography. How do you transition?
Well, I started really realizing that I love building relationships, and I love just communicate with people. And not only that, I take portraits of people, I actually see different expression, I meet different people. So I wanted to really find out how, if you want to travel, you obviously need to know more people outside of your local area. So I wanted to find out, who do I want to do business with? Who are those people who I want to work with?
Viewers as possible by keeping it raw and real. And this is kind of like, what we do here on The Journey, is keeping it totally raw and real.
Oh yeah, I can tell a little bit about the story. when I met this girl and when we sat down, we were talking and masterminding. One of the things that I didn't expect, and pretty much that's how it all started, with people sharing my work. When we met and I took pictures of her, not only she took cell phone pictures with us hanging out together and posted it on social media publicly, so all her audience, all her followers start to say, right, who is Tanya Willis? Who is Tanya Willis, right? So she did that post. Then I sent her pictures. She did picture post with what I took, my professional picture. Then she did another post with me taking, like me doing selfies with her together. So she did like about 3 to 4 posts about hanging with Tanya Willis. This is Tanya Willis' work. This is, you know, she's amazing. I met her, and her following within this company, because she was one of the leaders in the company I was following, they started really seeing, oh, Tanya Willis taking pictures. Well, we're having an event coming up. I want to hire Tanya Willis. So now she gave me that idea pretty much of not me showing my work, of meeting people, meeting influencers, and meeting people who you want to attract business with, work with them and let them share your work, and it's really going to be working fantastic.
So you started to build your credibility by borrowing credibility from an already established influencer in that particular company, which is, and again, if you guys are watching this right now, man, this is like bim, 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 you know, bells should be going off right now in your head. If you are somebody who's just starting out, right? I did this myself as well. I leveraged other people on teams that were successful to build me up, right? Somebody starting out, they're like, well, I'm nobody. I'm not known to anybody. Nobody knows me. This little mini me, and people go to self, you know, pity party, right? Well, everybody starts at the same level, which is ground zero. You know, everybody starts from the beginning. So what you just shared is very powerful, because you leverage somebody else's influence and you borrow that credibility to build you up, right? So, Tanya, talk to me about. I want to cover different things. I know that you are very particular about the work that you do, and you have this level of standard that you don't allow yourself to fall below, right? This almost perfection like. How important is that to you, and why is it important?
To be perfect at what I do.
Right. So I notice, you know, there's a consistency of quality of work that you put out there in the marketplace. In other words, like, I don't see you putting out just an amateur-looking picture or image. I know you're an imagery branding expert right now in the industry, and there's some really cool stuff that you're working on. Like, you know, I don't know if you want to share maybe later on, but you have a product that you're working on coming out. There is a big demand for what you do, and the knowledge for what you know in the marketplace. But you're a little bit different in a way that you don't post things that would look amateur. You know, on your Facebook profile, in your work, you know, out there publicly. Is there a reason for that? Is there, like, why is perfection, or being, you know, keeping this really high standard of quality important to you?
Well, it's a great question. First, when I thinking about like posting, think about when you log into your social media, and would you like if you see someone posting all over, like post after post after post, even if it's a great post. So for me, I thought that consistency is good, but not in a way of you're just keep posting and posting and posting something. Just keep it more like mystery about you. And as far as like we all want to share all good things in our life, the more mysterious you are about yourself, even though you have great success in life, you have so many things going on, if you're going to be mysterious about it, you attract more people. Unless in my case, I attract more people being a little bit more mysterious about what not necessarily sharing what I'm doing or where I'm going. What I like to share is more like inspiring, because when I wake up in the morning and when I look at my social media or read a book, I want to inspire myself to to get this energy, get up and do something like really, really cool. So when I look on social media, when someone really make like post like inspirational posts, quotes or anything like that, I like it. So if I like it, I really want to look up for people, my like role models. So I follow the certain people who I want to follow, and I learn from them. And I learn how they post. I learn from people what they say. It's not like just my ideas and how I roll with this on social media. I learn from different people. I have different people who like mentors, and just basically one step at a time, one day at a time, learning and doing and posting something different.
Awesome. Hey, let's talk about engagement. You know, now that we're on this topic of social media, I mean, social media is huge right now. I mean, Facebook is booming. There is Instagram. You know, this whole idea of, you know, building engagement. The world is getting smaller and smaller. You know, when it comes to like the internet, and everybody's connected nowadays, right? I like the idea that you mentioned, by the way, about keeping a certain outlook about yourself publicly. You know, that mystery is one of the key areas, or one of the key things that will keep you, you know, keep people coming back to you. I like the idea that you don't allow negativity to, you know, to be surrounded with negativity, right? There's so many people I see out there, you know, they're posting, hey, I'm having such a bad day today. Well, it's like, what is that going to get you? You know, I mean, who are you attracting? So what you put out is what you're going to attract, right? If you want to attract quality, you're going to put out quality. That's, I guess, the you know, the big lesson there. Let's talk about engagement. What I noticed is you have an unusually high engagement with your audiences on social media. It's like your engagement is through the roof. I mean, I know some people that, you know, have 1 million followers or likes on Facebook, and they're getting, you know, when they do a post, you know, they do a good post. They might get, you know, 100, 200 likes, or, you know, responses, 60 comments. You know, I notice when you post something, you know, just relative, you know, percentage-wise, right, based on how many followers you have versus how many, you know, those followers are engaging with you, it's ridiculously insane. I mean, it's through the roof. I mean, I have not seen anybody else with engagement being as high as yours. Is there, you know, was there a strategy behind it? How do you go about doing that? Is this something that, you know, other people can perhaps model after? You know, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Well, there is a strategy behind it, but you just have to be unique, and you have to be consistent about your work, about your post. You really have to, if you really want to find engagement, you know, because I've seen people who start with pretty much scratch, how I started, and they grow, but they grow a little slower. It's just a way of being like, surround yourself with the communities and just be, it's personal relationship building. So it's not like you're looking for millions of people following you and millions of likes. It's just one relationship at a time. You're talking with one person at a time, and then they're watching you, and then they see what you post, and then they follow you. And you go to the next person, and they're watching you, and they see what you post, and they follow you, and then they want to work with you when they're ready. And that's how my engagement grow from basically like 5 to 10 likes, whatever I'm posting, to up to 500, 600 likes.
So you focus on quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
Like you don't care about having 1 million followers that don't engage. You would much rather have, you know, fewer that engage, which makes total sense.
Engagement is like not amount of likes. It's more like people who are potential clients and customers. So I can have like 300 likes or 10 likes. But what likes do to me?
Right.
Like if they don't do anything to me, why would I care about likes? Right. But if they are my potential customers, why not to really build relationship with them, and they're gonna come back to like you. But it's not, again, it's not for the number of likes I'm getting. It's just I care about more for relationships.
You know, it's funny because I know some big name marketers, and and what they do is they just go out there, they just like buy engagement. They're like, hey, I'm gonna pay whatever the amount of money to get me X amount of likes or comments, or it's like, dude, why are you doing that? I mean, what is that gonna get you? At the end of the day, it's all just like fabricated, you know, just like a facade with nothing behind that. You know what I mean? So I like that idea. I like that, you know, quality over quantity is important. Tanya, let's talk about this. You get to work with a lot of people, a lot of high-level people, right? 7-figure entrepreneurs, 7-figure income earners, 8-figure income earners, giant companies right now. You know, you get to travel the world. It seems like you're gonna go nonstop. Like every month you got something going on. In working with those people, is there something that you notice? You go to a lot of conferences, you go to a lot of, you know, company events, etc. You interact with a lot of people. Is there a pattern that you notice between people that are making it big versus perhaps people that are just trying all their life? Is there something that like stands out to you as a third party, you know, just a photographer, right? Working with those people, is there something that they all seem to have in common that you took for yourself that perhaps helped you take your stuff to the next level?
Yes, I noticed they all are passionate about what they do. They love it so much that they cannot sleep for maybe a day or so, but they absolutely love what they do. And they approach people not to sell them anything. They motivate people. They givers instead of takers. They approach people with ideas. They are all, they're happy. They're just happy people to be surrounded with. It's cool. I like this.
If you like what you do, you can't help but be happy, right?
I mean,
that's just kind of how it is. Awesome, love it. Tanya, talk to me about this. I'm somebody who's brand new. I just started out. I see this big buzz and talk about imagery branding, about branding yourself, about this perception is reality, which is all true. What do I need to know? I mean, where do I start? Okay, where do I start about, presenting myself properly? You know, is there something that I should be doing first or second, or how do I go about starting to brand myself and starting to cultivate that following? What would be my step 1, 2, or 3, if you would?
Okay, so your number 1 step is identify your community and companies that you want to be surrounded. So you need to find out your target audience, right? So when you find out your target audience, you will have to be consistent about engagement and sharing your story. So that will be the step number 2. And so first, target audience. The second, your consistency, your approach, your engagement. And then the step number 3, you're following up with people. You are making sure that everything that you say or do, like you're going to do, you do it in the right way. And that's how you're gonna get results in your social media accounts and your business. You're gonna get customers even locally. If you start identify who are your customers, you're approaching them in a different way with ideas, and you follow up. So if you say, I have this business, I have this idea in mind, would you like me to try something like that? And you do what you say, and it's like word of mouth. People will start talking about you, people start remembering you and working with you.
So I can apply these 3 steps to pretty much anything. Like if I'm an affiliate marketer, if I don't have a product, I know a lot of people watching this, they don't have a product, they're promoting something, somebody else's product, totally fine, right? So what's my target audience? Who am I targeting? What's the product doing that my people would benefit from, right? Or what's the benefit that product delivers to the people that are looking for that benefit? So that's my target audience. Number 2, you said, is engage, consistency in your message, right? Give, find out what my target audience needs. How can I be of service to them, and how can I be consistent with my message? I keep saying this thing, I see marketers that are starting out and they're just bouncing off the walls, just like crazy, right? So one day they're up, they're super excited. Another day they're down, and they're posting how depressed they are, how how bad their life is because they're not making money trying to build an online business, and they're just dispersing this garbage all around the social media, all around the internet, and then the next day they're up again. They're like, hey, life is great, I just made my first sale. There's no consistency, right? So decide what you want to do, and you want to keep that message congruent. You guys watching this, it's very important. Hear me out. You want to be a person that when people think of you, they think, well, what's the first thing that comes to their mind, right? So when they think of Tanya Willis, what's the first thing that comes to my mind, right? Quality, inspiration, right? Consistency in the message. I don't see any negativity from you ever. I haven't, at least.
One thing I want to add here is that when people come to your social media page, you only have 10 seconds before they leave. Like if they don't know you, you only have 10 seconds. So they should be able to identify who you are. So if they click on my page, if I only have 10 seconds, there is a camera. You can tell Tanya Willis is a photographer. So what is your passion? What are you doing in a way of how can I identify who you are within 10 seconds?
Right. Love it. And then step number 3 is that is a follow-up, right? So following up can be what? Reinforcement of my messages. Like if I'm an affiliate marketer, I'm building my list. If I have 10 people, 20 people, or 2 people, following up with them with consistency of my message, who I am, what I'm standing for. And again, I got to become the channel of value, right, to my audience. So you're the channel of value to your audience, and you're constantly, thinking about how can I be more of a value to them. So if I apply that, I can't help but take my business to the levels that will be above average, as we call 4%er level. Hey Tanya, speaking of the 4%er, you know what we're doing. You've got some really cool stuff coming out here, and we're going to be doing some interesting things with the 4%. What attracted you to the 4% group?
Well, first of all, I love the community. I love it's different to see I love the engagement, right? So when I look at different groups, when people invite me to the groups, there is not that feeling of community standing together and that feeling of you're in home, that feeling you're home. When I become one of the members in 4% group, I start looking at whatever people posting and looking at the engagement. And I look at people talking to each other, and I like it. I like the community feeling of the 4%. And another thing that I like that whatever you have your ideas, whether doesn't matter who you are. I'm a photographer, so I have so many ideas, and you can pretty much make it reality with anything that you come up with. So you have your support. Not only you have your support, but you also you can create ideas and you can make it happen. And if you not really find out what you want or what you like, you have different encouragement. Everything about 4% is, to me, it's about helping each other, and that's what I like. That's when I first started, I needed support. And I was looking for groups like this. So to me, as being a photographer, it's encouraging me in business. It's seeing community of people together. It's just amazing community.
Awesome. Well, Tanya, look, man, we can be here for another 2 or 3 hours. You're just talking about ideas and just talking about our journeys, and incredible journey you have. I want to congratulate you. In 2 years, what you were able to accomplish in just 2 years is incredible. And you did it so, it sounds so simple though. You know what I mean? It sounds like, there's okay, I just decided what I wanted to do and I went for it. And I just did the to me was logical stuff, right? But to a lot of people that was not logical, like service. What a concept, right? So congratulations to you on that time. I know you have some big things coming out. You have, you're working on your product. Now you're going to be teaching people, how to do what you've done, and it's going to be great stuff. What would you tell in closing to somebody who is an aspiring entrepreneur, just getting started? Is there a message? Is there something that you would tell that person, maybe who's running into a brick wall right now?
Most definitely. Oh, yes, of course. Because when you first start, even if you have your passion and your vision and you're super excited about what you have, you will always have people who are not going to believe what you're doing. There will be always people who say, hey, this is not going to work. And just stay motivated, surround yourself with the group of like 4%, and inspire yourself. Listen to your inner voice of saying what you think is right. So even if it's family and friends are going to be pushing and saying, hey, you can do this, you can do this, just think about it not like they're bad, they're protecting you. And there's always going to be bad days. So even if you are so passionate about what you're doing, there's going to be days when you pretty much want to just do nothing, just lay in bed. And these days are like most important days when you actually get yourself out, pull yourself up, and start doing things anyway, doing things that you love. And even know that you don't want to do it, and you know that voice saying, you know, you don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You like, yep, and you're going to do it anyway. That's where you're gonna get your best results. And trust me, my best results, my best pictures, my best projects came from days where not always I wanted to be that excited and doing something, but I was just pushing myself. So keep pushing yourself, whatever, like find out your passion, push on yourself, surround yourself with the community who are going to support you, and people who are not going to be with you on your journey. You just keep pushing, even if they're family and friends. So if you keep on listening your heart and being consistent about it, you're going to get your results.
Awesome. Love it. You know, it's encouraging to hear that even the quote unquote successful have those days where they feel like they're, you know, I don't want to get up today, man. I just want to lay in bed all day long, you know, and do nothing. Happens to all of us, you know. So if you, my friend, are watching this right now, if you have a passion, you know, if you are somebody who wants to go through a life with excitement, with a sense of purpose, right, with a sense of direction, with a sense of, you know what, I want to be a meaningful, you know, part of society, you know what I mean? Like I want to be an individual who can bring something to the world instead of always taking things from the world. Well, we've got to become a resource, right? And every one of us, just like that unique thumbprint that you have, you know, we're all unique, and we can all bring unique ideas, and you know, and we can do things that you can do, things that I cannot do. You know, Tanya Willis can do things that you cannot do, and you can do things that nobody else in the world can do. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Go after your dream. Make it happen. It is your responsibility. It is your duty to make that happen, because the world needs you, my friend. Hey, appreciate you, Tanya Willis. Thank you so much for your, for your time here today.
Thank you.
And you guys are in the 4% group. Obviously, you know, we'll have this posted in the members area. And appreciate you guys. We just crossed 100,000 members in 4% group. Can you believe that? It's incredible. We're gonna be at 1 million here, you know, in no time. If you, my friend, are watching this, and if you are not a member of the 4% group yet, I would like to invite you. Okay, make the decision. Become a member of the 4% group. Become a part of something great, and you'll see what you've been missing out. Appreciate you. I'll see you inside. God bless. Don't let anybody steer you in the direction you don't want to go. Make your dreams reality.